I think 55,000 people, back at the Alamo Dome after 20 years and all this type of stuff. Just was disappointing that they couldn't get something better. Matt, before we go on, I was just going to say, I forgot to mention, during the Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns match, did you notice Kevin Owens was... I felt like Kevin Owens was giving a little nod to our 97 Rumble that we reviewed the other day, when he done the stunner and he done the powerbomb thing like Sid. I thought it was like a little nod to the Royal Rumble 97 20 years ago, when he done those things. Obviously Austin won 97, and when he was doing those moves, I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I did actually. That was good of him to do that. And it's actually quite clever because, I know people knew the stunner was Austin's move, but then some people might have missed out on the history from 97.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's take some questions, get some feedback, Matt. Let's see what everybody's kind of thinking. We first start with Steve, who says, this year's Royal Rumble felt like Christmas every 2 minutes. And then you get the present and you're really happy until number 30 came and it felt like socks. What did you think overall? No, why do you think overall Vince McMahon decided to go with Roman Reigns coming in at the end? So like we said, Steve, it's tough to say, but I mean, the only thing I can think of is that Vince McMahon wanted to set something up with him and The Undertaker. I don't know, because really the thing is, Matt, if the payoff would have been he gets in there when Braun Strowman's in there, but he wasn't even in there, so I don't know. It's difficult to say unless it is all about teasing the Undertaker thing up, and this whole thing about whose yard it is. What do you think, Matt? Is there anything to add to that?
No, I think you got it right there. As much as I don't want to say it, I can't get excited about Reigns versus Undertaker. That's just not really what I want to see. Unless Reigns retires the Undertaker, then he'll get some. I know he's got heat already, but then this would definitely be a way to say, don't like this guy. He's a top heel, even if he's not acting like one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally with you. Chris from Stockport now. Just wanted to say that it was a terrible Rumble match. I know fans say, well, they never announce that it's going to be full of surprises, but come on, the 30th anniversary, Goldberg and Brock's build, should have been so much more. I was anticipating so much more. Do you think Goldberg is even capable of going over 10 minutes in a match? What will we get at WrestleMania? Listen, tough to say. He looked steamed out when he did finally got eliminated. I'll tell you that much. If you go back and look at that video when Taker takes him over, he looks like he's absolutely knackered. I'm sure he went back on one of those vans by the end of it. So I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to say. Goldberg's never. Listen, if you look at Goldberg when he first came into WWE, he got shown up. I mean, he was exposed, Matt, when he started doing those lengthy matches, and he wasn't used to it. And that was then. This is now, and he's changed a lot. And he might be fit and everything, but listen, I'm concerned because it's not just about his physical stuff, but it's also about how he's handling it in the ring. Like, is he able to do? I don't know if he's able to do a 10-minute match. It's difficult to say because. You think if it's going to go Lesnar Goldberg at WrestleMania now, what on earth can they do, Matt, that's going to be like, wow? I mean, is it just going to be all Brock Lesnar, just suplex City the hell out of him, and that's it?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I really doubt that Goldberg has much stamina in him, It's always been a question, even when he was young, and then to come in at his age now, I just can't see it. And even if we get this payoff match, I'm beyond the point now of caring about that, because every time I've thought something could happen, I've given him the benefit of the doubt. I gave him the benefit of the doubt the second time they had a match, recently, and Brock got destroyed, and I gave him a benefit of the doubt that something was going to happen at Rumble, and it didn't. So the fact that they would now, if they do announce a third match, I just won't be expecting anything at all. I'll be expecting another 2 minutes.
I'll be expecting them to both run off in a different direction. That's how much this one's getting stupid. But yeah, let's. You might as well put Paul Heyman in there at this rate and have a triple threat. the way it's all going. Yeah, thanks for your question anyway, Chris. Leah now, and Leah says, "Hey, you two. This was a very unoriginal Royal Rumble. A guy that has had his time winning the Rumble before, who didn't live up to his Mania that year at WrestleMania 25 against Triple H, is our winner again. Wish they had thrown a big shock out there like Braun, Luke Harper, or Bray Wyatt." Well, I'll tell you, if it had been Luke Harper, that would have been a huge deal if it was Luke Harper. I'll tell you that much. The poor guy, he's talented, Luke Harper. I've always liked Luke Harper, but they don't look like they ever want to invest even 10% of what they invest in Roman Reigns sometimes. So that's a shame there. And yeah, like we said with Randy Orton, I think he is a bit unoriginal. It's not special. It's not even unique because he has already won it before. So even if it was Jericho, at least you could say that's added to his resume. But I mean, this is just, I don't know. I think like Matt said, I think he called it perfectly. Plan B was activated. Matt, for you, anything to add to that?
No, I think you got it all spot on there. Not much I can add to that one.
Yeah, Craig L now. Absolute stinker. Crap. This is just as bad as last year's run into Mania. Nothing to get excited about, is there? That was all he said. Not even a question there. That's how gutted he was. Mark now. The singles matches were all stunning and amazing. Can't take that away from the show. The Rumble absolutely sucked. I was almost falling asleep watching this. This was a load of rubbish. What is the point of a Royal Rumble if you can't even get excited during the match? So Mark's not happy either. Is a familiar one. Stay lucky now. Rumble to remember the Rumble. How about Rumble to forget? Do you see Cena versus Orton being a legit match for Mania after the amount of battles they've already had? Also, Goldberg looked tired. Do you think the ramp was too long for these guys to walk down? Well, we've kind of just established that they actually were being brought in, carted in almost by these little vehicles. And that's probably the reason, Matt, that we didn't see too many of the entrances because they were too busy driving them. They must have just pulled that thing out and just drove them down sort of 50 miles per hour, and then that was it. You barely got to see any entrances on this one because it was just so long. And obviously they were worried about some of those big guys getting steamed out before they get there. But so maybe it was a bit too long for a Royal Rumble. Matt, is Cena versus Orton a legit fix? I mean, I think you've already said we don't want to see it again, but what if we do?
Sometimes I wonder if they set WrestleMania matches up just for the legacy, like we thought about Batista and Randy Orton. Did they just plan that because it looks good on paper? Yeah. Like they can look back and go, "Oh, you remember the Rumble when it was Randy Orton versus Batista? We've been waiting years for that." And like now it looks like they look at this WrestleMania and think, let's have Cena versus Orton because it's a history kind of thing to put in the books.
Sure.
But we've seen it so many times, and didn't we see it in 2009 when they were like, "This is it,"
Yeah.
We're having a match, unify the title, and you decide who is the better guy.
Yep.
And we saw all that, and so it would be kind of like before you go into WrestleMania, go back to 2009, watch that one. You don't need to watch the WrestleMania to find out who's better.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It kind of sucks in that way, but they're both really capable guys. We know they both definitely put on a top show. So if it does come down to that, I won't be excited, but I'm sure they'll still do an adequate job. Yeah,
I'm with you there. Okay, he's here. Jembo, Wrestler Squad number 9. Well. The fact that Mark Henry got one of the biggest cheers of the night tells you all you need to know about this Rumble. Cancelling my network subscription, but I am going to continue to listen to your podcast. But I'm done with the WWE. Jimbo's not happy, Matt. He said his piece and he's out. He's not having it. It was interesting that Mark Henry was there, by the way, just to add that as a note. And he did give a bit of a cheer because it is from Texas and it's sort of his own hometown. But was you surprised that Mark Henry got that sort of reception and that spot in the Rumble, Matt?
Yeah, I've never really heard Mark Henry get a good reception. So, I wasn't expecting to see him there. So I guess that was one of the things, a minor surprise, I guess it could be.
Yeah, very minus. Okay, Joel now. The Cena versus AJ match was amazing. So good. Cena should be respected now, period. He is the guy, like it or hate it. How good was that match against the match from Wrestle Kingdom? Oh, that is a tough one. That is so tough to say because it's a completely different environment. And I would say move for move, athletically, it would be Kenny Omega, but in terms of like knowing, because we see more WWE here and I'm more exposed to it, just the storyline part of it, that I know these guys more. AJ Styles and Cena probably gave a little bit more of a better story, but both those matches are epic. Like, we've been treated to two tremendous matches already this year. It would be difficult to separate them. Matt, have you got a one up on one of them?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because they're both so very different.
Yeah.
When we judge this as a good match, we're judging this as a good match from WWE standards. I mean, of course, when we see stuff like what happens in Japan and what happens in Ring of Honor, it's a completely different level of belief. Because we come into WWE and we think, okay, most of the time a finisher is a finisher. So if they're nailed with that, then you might get one kick out, but two is like stretching it in three. So when we saw AJ and Cena doing this, and he kicked out of the off the top rope kind of AA, which I don't think I've seen anyone do before. I was kind of like, wow, that to me was a moment in itself. It's not exactly one of the most athletic kind of things, but just because you don't see it that often, it made it more special. Yeah. So it's difficult to judge, but if, like you said, if you're just going to go for the wow factor, then maybe go with the Kenny Omega one. But my personal favourite would have been the WWE one.
Yeah. Fair enough. Last question then. DX1. He's not happy, Matt. Starts with total shit. So Mania is shaping up with a lineup of, say, Bray versus Orton, or Orton versus Cena, Roman versus Taker, Goldberg versus Lesnar, AJ versus Shane. Oh no, I hope not. And Seth versus Triple H, and possibly Owens versus Jericho. Eesh, he's put. Yeah, I mean, I guess that potentially is the lineup. It seems like a lot on paper, but let's put it this way: Goldberg, Lesnar. How long are they going to be able to work for? That's going to be a couple of minutes at the moment. I really, really hope Matt, AJ and Shane doesn't happen. I don't know why the hell it would, but I don't know why WWE would get behind that. What a waste of AJ's talents to be in a match like that. Out of that lot, Matt, what is the one match you think is actually acceptable out of that, what he's just given? Is it Owens and Jericho?
Yeah, Owens Jericho's okay, but it's a bit weak because we know Jericho's leaving, so we know Owens would win. So it would be a good match to see. It's just it wouldn't be exciting for like the obvious direction you'd have to take.
Yeah, Seth Triple H. I mean, I don't know.
Another one.
Such a long time.
It's a fact that it's becoming one of those things now where Triple H has to have a Mania match just for the sake of it. I would say, last year they needed something like him. This year, when they've got Cena back, they've got Seth back, and and possibly by then got Finn Balor back, they don't really need to bring Triple H out. I mean, I love seeing Triple H. I mean, he's one of my all-time favourite wrestlers, but only if the storyline makes sense. And this whole Seth thing's been going on for way too long, dragging on for way too long, and it's just so, like, almost pathetically obvious that they only wanted it to ever happen at Mania, so they dragged it on that long.
Yeah, no, totally agree. So, yeah, thank you, DX1. That's put me in a nice mood to go to WrestleMania. Matt, I want to end by saying this. Like, the way it stands now, the match that never happened last year, that everyone always talks about, why has it never happened? Are we to believe that is not going to happen now? Like, we was halfway there, and then we didn't get it. I know there's a pay-per-view in between, so anything can happen. But Undertaker versus Cena, Matt, that was the match. Not only